Hello.
How are you? Who is answering me right now?
Hi, good afternoon, Professor.
Okay, hello. Is it difficult to pronounce your name, my friends? Welcome. Okay, I think time is up. Maybe we could start. All right? So, my friends, you can hear me well, right?
Yes, Professor. You can hear you.
Okay. So, good evening, my friends from China and from Asia. And good morning, maybe, my friends from other part of the world. Welcome to the class. Today, I'm going to share with you a topic of Chinese company investing abroad. And it has been a hot topic for a while, right? It started to become a hot topic since 2004 when Chinese company accelerated investing abroad. And it became even more hotter in 2008 after financial crisis, right? When Chinese company overseas investment was all of a sudden doubled compared with before. Actually, I had a lot of discussion with my friends from Chinese young multinational company, and every one of them told me that it is so hard to invest abroad wherever they go. And when I had a discussion with my friends, especially my friends from academic area, and my foreign friends told me that they don't believe Chinese company have enough capability to invest abroad. They feel that the strengths of Chinese company are all come from government's policy. But whatever they say, right now, China is the top two biggest investor around the world. Last year, the amount of overseas investment from China have already up to $145 million. So what's the secret? What are the challenges and how Chinese company overcome or build up their capabilities, right? Those are the things I'm going to have a discussion with you, all right? Time is not so long, so let me share my screen. It's fine, right? Okay. Me, myself, I'm the professor of international business. I'm the director of Latin American Center of Tsinghua University and the director of the Center for China Latin American Management Studies, which is a center of the School of Economics Management in Tsinghua University. Okay. I'd like to discuss with you for the following topic. First of all, global foreign direct investment trend and Chinese foreign direct investment position. The second is big challenges confronting Chinese companies and the development of Chinese young multinationals. And in the end, what will be the future in my mind? And of course, I'd like to save some time to have the discussion with you. I will try, okay? Actually, the reason, 1 minute. See, when we talk about foreign direct investment, which is different from the financial type of investment, different from portfolio investment. So when you talk about foreign direct investment, which is basically you have type of country in your mind, the capital come from home country, and the capital get into host country, right? It just make sure my friends here who may not familiar with these two terms, okay? The reason I need to talk about the global foreign direct investment trend and Chinese company position in it is because, for all these years, I've attended many international forums, and I found there's a type of discussion that really might cause the misunderstanding, which is, people talk about Chinese company investing abroad. They only talk about Chinese company. They don't have the comparison. They don't put China into the worldwide scene. That sometimes might cause misunderstanding. All right. So here I'd like to start by sharing with you the global trend of foreign direct investment, and then try to figure out what are the position of Chinese company in it. Okay. I think that's a very important background for all the topic we're going to talk about. Okay. See, this is the big landscape of global foreign direct investment. So what is the trend here? How do you understand the big reason behind the trend? And how do you predict the near future of this? A hard question, isn't it? I know it is hard. While you're thinking about it, let me help you a little bit. In order to clarify and simplify this question, I'd like to divide this picture into two parts. The part before 2007 and the part after. Okay? So you can see that before 2007, there's a relatively fast and stable growth. Here, I know you have already mentioned that in 2000, there's a big jump. I mean, the slowdown of the foreign direct investment. But just after 2 years, it has already been picked up very quickly, right? What is the reason for the drop of foreign direct investment in 2000 in your mind? At least two big reasons, right? One is the break of the IT bubble. The second is the tragedy. U.S. is a really powerful economy, and something bad happened there really hurts the global economy. But just because it picked up very quickly, to me, I'd like to take it as a temporary interruption of the globalization. Okay, so that's why I was saying that before 2007, you can imagine there's a fast growing and continuously growing of foreign direct investment. Why is that? What is things behind that? Let me just put it this way. When you talk about foreign direct investment, it could take two perspectives. One is from host country to the home country to host country, right? The other one is from developed country compared with developing country. Okay, that makes things more clear. You can follow me. Let me add two pictures here. See, this is the same trend from the perspective of home country, and the bottom blue part is the capital coming from developing world, and all the other part is the capital coming from developed world. So it's very clear that before 2007, the capital, the multinational company mainly come from developed world, isn't it? Okay. If you look at the same picture from host country's perspective, and you can have this picture. Again, the blue bar show the capital getting into developing world. So you can see the clear difference, right? For this part, you can see the developing country receive more foreign direct investment compared with we invest abroad, right? Especially before 2007, we start to receive more foreign direct investment rather than, investing abroad. That's clear. Okay. So if I add these two pictures here, when we come back to this big picture, could you try to find out the background reason for continuous growing of foreign direct investment here? This way. Okay. Actually, if you look at this picture from developed countries' point of view, you can see that the multinational from the developed world, they grow very fast. They really have the capability developed through first and second industrialization period, and they continue to strengthen that. They do have the internal motivation, very strong internal motivation to investing abroad for market, for for resources, for cost efficiency, whatever. Right? They have that kind of tendency. At the same time, where they invest, of course, the developed world, developed country is one of their main host country area. But at the same time, with this picture in your mind, right, you can see that developing countries start to receive more foreign direct investment. Main reason for this is that after failing of the industrialization process in our own country, let's say the Latin American as an example, they started their industrialization process a long time ago, even before China. Okay? But they got into problem and they got into debt crisis, and they start to open up, trying to receive foreign direct investment. And China, again, we are lucky we didn't get into financial crisis, but we were not very smoothly for our own industrialization before open up, right? So we also try to see a new way of develop our economy by opening up. At the same time, China, we start to open up from 1978, right? But in beginning of 1990s, precisely in 1992, we accelerated with the Deng Xiaoping's South Trip, right? And at the same time, Latin America actually accelerated their opening up all of a sudden, actually. Yeah. So see, for our own reason, for developing country, we have our own reason to open up to this world, trying to receive foreign direct investment. The interesting thing is that the situation of developed country around this time period is actually really matching the motivation of the developing country like Latin America and China, right? So as a result of that, we have this type of trend. We have the foreign direct investment steadily and even faster growth during this time. I give a name of this globalization, okay? I call it the harmony time, the harmonized globalization period, okay? But after this, after 2007, you can see the FDI up and down, bumping all the time, never coming back to the top, the period. What happened there? I believe, my friends from everywhere around this world, you have your own reason. And let me put it this way. Actually, if you think about developed country, beforehand, they are the main investor of foreign direct investment. But after financial crisis, I believe you remember, take the UK and US as an example, they try to recover or redevelop their manufacturing sector, meaning that they want to draw their capital back for their own country. And actually, sometimes they did a good job. They really draw their capital from abroad to their own country. US is a fantastic example for that. Okay. At the same time, beforehand, there's not so many restrictions or policy towards opening up for the developed country, right? Right now, because of the financial crisis, they start to, join us, trying to receive foreign direct investment. But at the same time, they have more concerns. They're thinking about their security issues, and so that their policy become complicated. And from developing country, on one hand, we are actually keep on opening up to this world, welcoming foreign direct investment. But many developing countries, we have already accumulated the experience of doing open up. So compared with before, some countries believe that when we open up and we can get the foreign company coming in and we can get the result that we want, which is in fact difficult. So the developed countries start to think about how to really get benefit from foreign direct investment. So they have new policies put in there. Okay. Of course, at the same time, there are some developing countries like China. We join the team of investors. Okay, so I do not need to mention more, but basically, after financial crisis, many countries start to rethink about the result of globalization, and then they restructure their policy, trying to get more benefit from the globalization. I call it like restructuring of the globalization rather than, the backward of the globalization. Okay, but things change after the conflict between China and the U.S. We don't extend from here. Okay, it's become relatively more complicated, and unfortunately, pandemic here also hurt this type of investment. Okay, yeah. Let me continue. So this is what I mentioned here just now is the global trend of foreign direct investment. Now we come to the Chinese foreign direct investment, okay? See, this is the landscape of Chinese overseas investment. And actually, I draw this picture with the same lens of the time compared with the last picture. So it's clear that at the very beginning, beginning from 1980 until 2004, there are basically very little amount of foreign direct investment done by Chinese company. Why is that? It was clear. We opened up to the world from 1978. We were poor, and we focused more on the internal development for many years, right? We did not have enough money. We did not have enough human capital. That's why we did not have enough capability for investing abroad. Okay. But beginning from 2004, things are relatively different compared with, the time we opened up before. We have already around 20 years development of China. So of industry developed, we have some big Chinese company developed. They start to have the capability investing abroad. From 2004, I do not know whether some of my friends could remember those big names who started this type of investing abroad practice. Who are they? Lenovo, right? TCL, Haier, right? This type of company. They grow inside China. They build up their capability and try to invest abroad. Of course, for many reasons. I do not need to extend from here, but that is the thing. We accelerated investing abroad from 2004. But things changed in 2008. You can see all of a sudden Chinese overseas investment doubled in 2008. Why? And what is the year of 2008? Financial crisis, right? So there are chances in that year to buy quality asset with relatively low price, right? Everyone did this. And actually, I have to say that through the lens of the history, the recent history, okay, it was the sort of only chance for Chinese company to take for this type of opportunity. And this is not, if you can remember the financial crisis in Asia, many companies come into Korea trying to take this chance. And let alone, in Latin American countries, you got into financial crisis many times. You can always see the capital coming in and out at the time of the crisis, right? But for China, the 2008 seems to me that it was the sort of only chance for them to take advantages of buying the quality asset at relatively low price, right? So that's why you can see the Chinese overseas investment all of a sudden doubled in that year. But after that, the Chinese overseas investment continued to grow, right? And you might imagine, why is that? It couldn't be so much chances for so many years for a Chinese company to take, isn't it? There are much more complicated reasons there. And I just simplified it by saying this. For many years, in some countries around this world, there are still some chances, the similar chances. But for the country like US, the things are different. US has the very flexible mechanism of their economy. They recovered quickly from the financial crisis. So there were not so much chances like, before for Chinese company to take. But fortunately, more Chinese company continue to invest in US after financial crisis, before 2017. Why is that? I actually took the several tasks from our government trying to figure out what happened there. And actually, for several trips, I tried to pick up some of the companies who have already spent more than 5 years in US. I think those type of company could be a good example to test. Because, as the professor of international business, any company got into trouble in the host country with at the first 5 years when I started to invest abroad, it was not a shock to me. So I pick up the type of company who spend already more time in the host country. Yeah, the similar name, a familiar name came to you again. I picked a company like Haier, TCL, Lenovo, okay, and the Goldwyn, this type of company. And I visit the US and had a conversation with them. Just because the time limit, I just directly tell you the result, okay? I feel very happy because I realized that those companies they have already very much familiar with the US business environment. They know the regulation, they know how to deal with those regulations in an appropriate way, and they are very much welcome in US. That really made me happy. When I had a discussion with their foreign employee, and their foreign employee told me that I like Chinese company because during those hard times, they don't, get rid of those, they don't making unemployment to keep the workers. the employees inside their company. Okay. And also, you might not believe when I say this right now. I visited their Heritage Foundation and the American Progress Foundation. And then at that time, they said the Chinese company are very much welcome. Some of them told me that at the very beginning, they have doubt about Chinese company. Right now, they know Chinese investment is no different from other foreign companies. And they create a lot of the job opportunity, even very good job opportunity. We had that discussion. See, our Chinese company did not very much, at the very beginning, familiar with U.S. business environment. When they took over a company, they keep their leadership there, and they provide high, the level of the salary, which made them very happy. Okay, so that was the information I received from U.S. from the discussion with the official, the employees by face-to-face conversation. Okay, but unfortunately, the things are different right now. All right, so what I'm trying to say here is to let you know what happened for the Chinese company investing abroad. And as a result, according to my research, according to my on-site discussion, I have the confidence in Chinese company by seeing that they really know how to do the investment in the host country, like US. And one of the biggest advantages investing in US is that they can find a synergy between US and China. I almost find, this type of synergy for every discussion with the Chinese company I invest. Okay, I investigated. Okay, so if nothing happened afterwards, I actually have the confidence that the Chinese foreign direct investment going to go on and even more, not only in the US, but also in this world. Okay, but unfortunately, it's not the case. From 2008, we got into trouble with the US, and after that, and the world got into the pandemic. So that's how you can see the slowdown of a Chinese company around this world. Okay. So after reviewing the landscape of the foreign direct investment around this world and the landscape of the Chinese company investing abroad, and I would like to put these two pictures together, meaning that let me put the Chinese outward investment inside the picture of the global foreign direct investment. And this is the chart you can see. And the chart showing you what is the position, global position of Chinese company investing abroad. Okay, what you have seen here. A couple of features, right? The blue bar, of course, is the global FDI. And the yellow one is the Chinese overseas investment. Couple of features which are very much clear. One, you can see that Chinese overseas investment is a clear latecomer, isn't it? Chinese young multinational company were absolutely latecomer. Okay, and you can see very clearly from here. The second, have you figured out when we start to grow? In this picture, you can see that actually after so many years open up, globalization, and then the world have already get into deeply globalized, right? So Chinese companies accelerated our overseas investment. It was exactly at the timing that the world has already been deeply globalized, right? So what is the result of that? The result is that wherever Chinese company invest, we're going to get into fierce competition in those countries. Those countries have already been opened up for many years. So any country we get in, we're going to get into global competition, fierce global competition in that country. All right, that's the result. All right. And is there any third feature? Actually, we do have this third feature, right? I believe you have the landscape of Chinese company investing abroad in your mind. If you look at alone, right, it's here. You can see the fast growth. And if you come back to this picture, you can see the growing trend of Chinese foreign direct investment. It's actually against the mainstream of the global FDI, isn't it? I didn't add more picture here, but I can add more information. The fact is that the FDI from Asia is actually go hand in hand with Chinese foreign direct investment. We all grow up, okay, at the same time. And the second information is that if we compare with the foreign direct investment from developing country, and you can see that the FDI from developing country is also go hand in hand with Chinese investment abroad. So what type of foreign direct investment that Chinese company, sort of go against? You can imagine that, right? So this is the basic feature of the position of Chinese foreign direct investment in this world. We're really latecomer. We're growing at the time that the world have already been deeply globalized, and we get into competition everywhere. Okay, and the trend of the growth of Chinese company is kind of against the mainstream of the foreign direct investment around this world, right? Okay. So with this background in our mind, it will be not too difficult to talk about the big challenges confronting Chinese young multinational companies. Okay, let me try this. The first one, the challenge one, being latecomer. And being latecomer, so what? As I said just now, being a latecomer, we got into fierce competition wherever we go. Okay, compare with what? Compare with the time China opened up to this world. See, when China started to open up to this world, even though we did open up step by step, but whenever foreign company get the chance getting into China, and they can do whatever they want, they gain a lot of profit. In Chinese, we say that they can 他们好画最新最美的图画, meaning in English, they can draw a lot of beautiful pictures wherever they want to go. Okay, meaning that it's really a fantastic market for them. They make a lot of money from China. It's not so. You can imagine that at that time Chinese companies were very weak. There were not so many foreign companies inside, right? But we have so many people, right? Had potential customer in a big number, right? So that is the first. say being a latecomer and that